All right, so now we're going to practice making our sentences into a participle phrase. So reducing the adjective clause to a phrase like what we did before. So number one has been done for us. So let's take a look. All right. Robotics is a complex field that combines electronics, computer science, and mechanical engineering. So first, let's identify where our relative pronoun is, and that is that, right? So our adjective clause starts from that and ends at engineering. It is essential adjective clause because it is modifying a field. So the first thing I do is I cross out the subject, that. The second thing I do is I change the combines, which is active voice verb, into a present participle, which is verb ing. So that is why it becomes combining. All right. And our punctuation rules would stay the same. So that means if initially our adjective clause is essential, which doesn't come with commas, when you change it into a participle phrase, it still doesn't need commas. All right. So now, number two, the number of students who are studying robotics is growing. So remember, you don't want to underline everything on after who, right? Because if you cross out your adjective clause, you're left with a fragment. So make sure you stop at the right time. Okay, so in this case, who is our relative pronoun as subject. Are studying is our active voice verb in present progressive tense. Present progressive or present continuous, right? And why are we using who? Because we're talking about students, right? Now, first thing I do, cross out the who. Second thing I do, change the verb to present participle, which is just verb ing. So my sentence is done. The number of students studying robotics is growing. Now, a tricky thing here is, I don't know if anyone has picked up on this. What is your subject of your independent clause? Now, don't tell me students, because I will ask you, then why is your verb singular is growing? It is because this is actually a prepositional phrase. So your subject is the number. The number is growing. So for SAT students, I want to remind you, the number is always singular because you're referring to a specific number, whereas a number would be plural because you're talking about more than one. There are a number of students in this class. The number of students in this class is 2. All right. So number 3, soon robots, my relative pronoun, that work in assembly plants, again, stop at the right place because your independent clause would be robots will be able to follow voice commands, right? So in your adjective clause, that is your subject, and work, of course, is active voice in present simple tense. We don't have to add s, or we cannot add s after our work because that is referring to plural antecedent robots, right? But either way, first things first, cross out my subject and then change my verb into present participle, which is working. And voila, robots working in assembly plants will be able to follow voice commands. All right, and that is how you change an adjective clause into a participle phrase, also known as the reduced clause.